ஆளுமைமிக்க அரசியல்வாதியாக பியோர் பாலிடிக்ஸ் பயிற்சி பட்டறை, நேரடி இணைய வழி வகுப்புகள். உங்கள் சீட்டிற்கு முந்துங்கள். 7338824242.
Comfortable. Yes, sir. I'm Shrit Suresh, and we are truly blessed to have you three people here, seated here, sir. Thank you very much to come today.
So, it's a dream come true for me, seeing all my three role models, the pioneers of their individual spheres, to be here. So I'm a bit confused to where to start with, but Annamalai sir, I would like to start with you. So basically, sir, we are well known about your interest in different domains. You have started with engineering, like most of us here are. Then you have pursued MBA from IIT Madras, and then you have also cracked UPSC and served our nation as an IPS, where they termed you as the Singham of Karnataka, and then you are now a policymaker. So I just want to know, like, how these experiences from different spheres help you to become a good policymaker, and any life mantra for the audience here.
But thank you so much for having us here. Great day.
Thank you so much for having us here. It's a great day. You just launched a startup, and many congratulations to IIT Madras. Once again, I think NIRF ranking yesterday you topped it. And it's a pride for the whole of our country, the research that happens at IIT Madras. You have excellent people, of course. Ramakoti sir, we all know, a very big pioneer, academician. A person who is making sure that IIT Madras is still going strength to strength each particular year. And I personally believe a person whom the Indian society should celebrate more is Mr. Shivshankaran, who is with us. And we have to celebrate more in a different era, maybe just a few decades back. The kind of pioneering work he has done, especially in telecom and different startups. And right now, completely getting into the wellness space, is into longevity space now. It's completely reimagining how people want to live. It's running now. You will not believe a person 67 years of age, a successful guy who has exited multiple ventures, again into another new exciting thing. It is only right that Shivshankaran sir has come and launched your startup. Just wanted to introduce him. I hope and pray that IIT Madras and our society uses Shivshankaran sir more, and we learn from them more. Coming to the question that you asked, I'm not a policy maker. I am a person, an interface in a political party between the public and the government. So we are more like a feedback loop. So we take what public wants, we take it to the government, and what the government communicates, you make it in an understandable format so that public gets to understand what the government is doing. And like many of you here, we are also doing a very important job in a society, because end of the day, many things that you do, end of the day, the policy makers should stand behind you. If the policy makers don't stand behind you, then most of us are in trouble. And including Hyperloop, for which the podcast we are there. And even Elon Musk was saying it's a public infra, because the kind of money that requires, the kind of reimagining you are doing, you are reimagining every single thing, materials, frugal engineering, every single thing you are reimagining. So government stands behind you in a big way, because normally when you take risk of this magnitude, it is the taxpayers' money which comes in first, then the private enterprise comes in second, because the private enterprise cannot take such a big risk. That is one important thing. So we play a small role there as an interface tool. That is also the reason that I have come here. That we communicated properly, we probably guide you, and probably the government understands your viewpoint. So that is my role now, or not basically in policy making. And second, I personally believe whatever you do in life, and everything is an experience. A student, what you do in IIT is an experience. And the guy who's sitting here, there's an offer in front of him, London Business School, and you could see trading. Then, like IIT director was telling, that earn crores and crores of money, opportunity one. But somehow the IIT director convinced him not to get into that. Probably stay here for 2 more years, take a sabbatical, be in the research park, do something. So I'm very sure the next 2 years, what he does here, that kind of learning, no money can pay for it. And normally the life experience is the best teacher. So all of us have gone through some things here and there. So we sit in front of you, and probably you'll also reach much more ahead of where we are sitting now. So I would say academics, education, probably your life skills, what you do outside, your struggles, success, failures. Probably it will help you to navigate the challenges of life. And more importantly, as you go through the challenges of life, probably you will discover what you actually really want to do. Because academics is very cloudy. Normally when you study in IIT, the options are more, that's a problem. When you have more options, you're not in a position to make a decision. London Business School is one option, this is another option, that is another option, higher studies is another option, going for a job is another option. So normally when you have too many options, your mind gets clouded. So I hope and pray that guys like some of the most talented people in our country, even having too many options in front of you, will still make that right option. One, it should benefit you individually as a person. Second, it should benefit your family and society. And third, more important, it should benefit the country. And that is why it excites us when IIT Chennai is being media. You're talking of a test lab, test bed. September you'll complete that 450 meter. Then no Asian country has hosted the World Hyperloop Challenge. You want to bring all the best startups in the world to IIT Madras next year, February 2025. And where the best companies in the world, they want to show their prototypes in Madras, in the IIT Discovery Campus, and show us where the world is with respect to Hyperloop. So that excites us. Thank you so much for having us.
So, sir, my next question is from Kamakoti, sir. That what is so special about this ecosystem that under your guidance that we are having such marvelous outcomes? And I also want to know that how do you see the Hyperloop can be the next one?
So thank you. So, prime most important confidence that I'm seeing, very interesting growing trend, is this word impossible is slowly moving away from our students' dictionary. Everything that we say, everybody says, let us check whether it is possible. So this impossible is moving out, and that is something very refreshing for me. What has happened over the last two and a half years? Every day I go back home around 9 o'clock, 8:30. I'm seeing increasingly number of students coming and meeting me and telling that this is a new idea that we have created, sir. I'm coming from C5. C5 is our Center for Innovation. And this is the idea, and I think we will be surely trying to see if a startup. I think that trend is very, very important. Friends, we need employers rather than employees. There is one simple statement. And if IIT Madras, being NIRF 1 for 9 years in engineering consecutively, if we are not going to do that, who else will do it? This is a confidence statement that everybody must have in mind. Friends, we have seen actually given up ideas like, did we ever imagine that we can print a rocket engine in 72 hours? Now we are printing 4 rocket engines in a single 3D printer in 72 hours. We never imagined. Did we imagine that engine will pass all the tests, the real stringent tests, before we launch it into the space? We never thought, but it happened. Did we ever imagine that we will be the first semi-cryogenic fuel rocket launch vehicle that will go absolutely as planned? Not even, nowhere near any of even the error benchmark that, is permissible error. We never touched that. It's absolutely almost the data was very perfect. The way the parabola had come on in the last week of May. Did we ever imagine that? No. Today, Agni-Cool will reduce the cost per kilogram of launch by 1/3. And that will make it impossible for others to compete. And we can also do launch on demand. So these are some things which are far from even imagination, even 3-4 years before. But today it's a success. I also want to tell one more story. That was the 5th attempt the boys made before it just went on the sky. In the 4th attempt, just 90 seconds before the rocket has to be launched, the girl who was the mission director, she said, no, stop. That requires a lot of courage and conviction. for a similar power of stopping a launch test 90 seconds before it's going to go, in some bigger organizations, say ISRO or NASA, you need around 23 years or 25 years of experience. This young girl with 18 months of experience did have the conviction to go and stop the launch, and she was right. I think this is the power the startup will give you. To actually put in your biodata saying, I am a failed entrepreneur, is a credible statement. Rather than saying, I worked in such companies earning crores. I think these are some of the statements I have been repeating like a parrot. I will keep repeating till our startup 100 dream comes true. Every third day, a startup must be born in our campus. We have got patent a day scheme. Last year, we filed 382 patents, more than a patent a day. So every half a day, and this year, Sumita is here. She's heading the patent division in ICSR here. They had the courage to come and tell me, sir, we will do 2 patents a day. I think that's the spirit, and that's where we are moving. So friends, Hyperloop, and with Agricool's success, with MindGrow's success, and many other success of Solina, Sentidect, and some very fantastic technologies that have come, I am very, very confident now that Hyperloop will be a grand success. And we also put our own deadlines. We said this year, February, we will have the Hyperloop competition. Whatever happens, heavens fall, no care. We will do it. And then we also put a much more strict deadline. We made the deadline much more stronger by saying that we will invite Honorable PM. The moment you invite and they say yes, which I presume they will say yes, then you have nothing to look back. You have to get it done. It by some 10 meters more to make it the longest in Asia. We are now trying to do digital twins so that people who come and use our facility can test whether it will work or not earlier before they come. And that's also important. So that is the transparency which we are bringing into the system. So anybody who wants to come and use the system, we say, friend, this is what will be there for you. You train yourself and come. So I think we will become one of the most transparent, best in Hyperloop testing test bed. And I think that is going to be a big feather in the cap. As Shivashankar sir said, we are looking at 10 years for cargo and 20 years for human movement. I think these building baby steps, but strong, firm, concrete baby steps will pave the way for that journey. Number 4, that as Annamalai has told, NIRF ranking is further, a lot of people, I was basically thinking, why are we number 1? We all work as a cohesive event. We have a strategic plan in front of us. Every faculty, together we are focused, faculty, staff, students, alumni, industry partners, ministry, government. We are all focused on one particular objective or a bunch of objectives, and that focus is bringing up. But I also felt yesterday, after looking at all the parameters, that we are working towards national needs. And when we start working towards national need, any ranking mechanism that is adhering to the national needs will automatically make us one. And that is what I am now very happy about. And we must continue working towards these national needs. And why is Hyperloop a national need? Because Hyperloop will reduce our carbon, will reduce the time for travel, improve the ease of life, will also improve safety of travel, and also be a big change like how 5G is now becoming a change, bringing the change in Industry 5. Probably we'll be at Industry 10 or Industry 11 at that point of time. Just because of logistics, we will see this will become a game changer. I think these are some very interesting, important points that we will put on table. And as Shivashankar sir told another very interesting example. If this Mars rover, Mars mission done by other countries, it will be 10 times more costlier. And there was a very nice calculation done, which Honorable PM also mentioned, that the auto rickshaw charge in Gujarat will be less per kilometer charge is much higher than the Mars rover, that launch vehicle charge per kilometer. I think we will, and that's what we are seeing in Agni Group. I am very confident that the next launch, we will now bring the cost per kilogram to 1/3 of what other countries are charging for low Earth orbit. And we need 1,100,000 satellites every 5 years, and the average life of these satellites are 5 to 7 years. So we have to keep replacing them. If I need 100,000 satellites in 5 years, I need 20,000 per year, and we have say 365 days. Now you calculate how many we need per day, and where are the engines? Where are so? This is a game changer that we are bringing. I think Hyperloop will also be such a very wonderful game changer.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your kind words, sir. It was these very wise words and encouraging words that you told me and my father during our meeting that encouraged me to start a startup and prompted me to start a startup. And sir, what I wanted to ask is just how IIT Madras has made an ecosystem so that technologies like Hyperloop can flourish here. I just wanted to ask, it's an open question. I just wanted to ask, how can India create an ecosystem so that Hyperloop can flourish in it as a whole?
For that to happen, the society itself, as a whole, we have started becoming risk takers. 1980 or 2000 or 2020, I still remember talking friends are outside, even to launch a satellite, he had to fight one point of time. And he had to go catch hold of the Tongo Princess. And a slot registered in the name of the Tongo Princess and then launch a satellite from French Guyana. I'm just talking about how an entrepreneur has to fight multiple battles, society, bureaucracy, here and there. Now 2024, very confidently we can say, now risk-taking that society is embracing. Startup was not a cool word many years back. Now people look up to startups, and we all know that Hyperloop is not going to succeed tomorrow morning. And the professor was telling very clearly, 20 years, 30 years, that is the target we all have. Society is willing to wait. That is more important. When you're looking at this kind of project, the society is willing to wait. It is not that society is placing so much burden on you, saying that tomorrow morning you do it, day after tomorrow you do it. And more importantly, when two young gentlemen like you sitting here, you must be about 22, 23 now. So you're willing to give 20 years of your life to this. That's more important. And when a human being has decided to give his youth to a project, please understand that. This is not an easy thing. And you can just get in, start a company, 3-4 years, do an exit, come out, make money, buy a beach hole, that's a different thing. But here, as a student unit, cohesively, you have decided that, yes, I'm going to put my heart and soul into it. You have to solve thousands of problems in the next 20 years, solve one material science to everything you got to solve. Right now, the society might think it might not work because the Virgin Hyperloop, one Hyperloop is shutting down. The money they are selling it and coming out, they felt it is unviable. The Nevada desert, whatever, the track they have created, again they are setting it off. Now, a country like Dubai with so much money, the Dubai Port Authority, DP World has bought it out. If you look at the world, how the Hyperloops are behaving, it is not very encouraging per se, because the big guys want to do an exit and they don't want to put more money there. And Virgin has completely come out. You know the story, everybody knows the story. But we should not be bothered by that, because somebody has gone to Henry Ford and asked them, how did you get a car? You all know the very famous story. Henry Ford clearly said, if I had gone to people and asked whether you want a car, people would have said, I don't want a car. I want a faster running horse. Because people just can't imagine what a car is. People are so used to driving a horse that people must have told Henry Ford, give me a faster running horse, that is better for me. But there is always a pioneer, probably a risk taker, probably that crazy guy. Probably the world might call them as foolish, whatever names we might give it to you in the next 5-7 years. One guy has to believe and say it is possible. That is why Sivashankar is sitting here. Kamakoti is able to create a lot of startups, and young people are willing to put 20 years of life into it. So, one, to answer your question, society itself has started embracing change. Like Professor Kamakoti said, I am possible. I was thinking, you are here. IIT Madras is here, possible the word is here. I think in IIT Madras everything is possible. IEM and possible combining, impossible becomes possible because you've done it in Guru. In Agnikul, we were just watching with a lot of wonderness, the kind of thing you are able to do. So it is possible. You just have to be patient. And you have to understand, this is a country where things are slowly getting its own pace, bullet train. When we conceived the project, it was 1,06,000 crore. Now it is 1,60,000 crore. Because there's a problem with the land acquisition. Now it has shot up by 54,000 crore. Now the question is, still the country has to go ahead and do it. Every project you do an interest calculation and say the cost of interest is 1%, it is 0.5%, it is unviable, I'm not going to do it, then probably you cannot get into the future. America is always a great superpower because they were able to think far ahead. Let's just look at chips. There is a Fairchild semiconductor company, then Intel came, then they want to put it in a missile, then they took it to the space mission, then they made it chip. One fine day in 1980s, they decided the cost of one chip from $100, they brought it down to $2. They said, I'm going to make it commercial so that people can take this chip and start putting in commercial things. That's the history of chip. One fine day, the government of America thought, I'm going to make this military technology to a commercial user so that I'm going to cut it down by 80% the chip cost. Now, where are we? We are talking of 13.8 billion chips in one transistor in the latest Apple iPhone. So, 100% I'm very sure the country will stand with you. And this kind of investment is humongous. And the problem you are trying to solve is just out of the world. And we can't even imagine 20, 30 years from now how the world will be. So, just you have to trust the society as a whole investing on you and government playing a role. And the Honorable Prime Minister, the Kamakoti sir, was telling himself, might be inclined to come and start the project. Then the world will come and see in IIT Madras what we are capable of doing. But my only thing is be patient. It's not an easy thing. A lot of failures you will see 100%. But be at it. And when we solve the problem, you are advancing humanity by multiple civilizations and centuries. Because Hyperloop comes, you are reimagining every single thing. Madras to Bangalore, sir was telling just 20 minutes. As net zero carbon neutral, there is no carbon that is going to be safe, no accidents. And people can do so much things in their one life, which is 70, 80, 100 years, how many years we live. If Shiv Shankar sir is able to crack that code, probably 120 years in the next 1 year. So much we can do in one life. So just be at it, be patient. Just don't get bothered by small problems you will face here and there. Next year, the society will stand with you more. Maybe 5 years from now, it will stand with you more. 10 years from now, it will stand with you more. Just be at it, things will happen. Thank you.
That was a wise word, sir. Sir, this comes up to be like this entire conversation gives the idea that we need to make a startup. We need a strong relationship between academia, government, and industries. So, coming to the problem of Hyperloop specifically today, like in Hyperloop community, it is more of a student research till date. It hasn't been have a more awareness among corporate section, and government is also supporting, but not all over the world. I would say Indian government is supporting us a lot, thanks to the railways and railway ministry. But I just want to know how should we have this more deeper relationship so that the Hyperloop concept now will go from student to corporate and be commercialized.
So, see, when mobile phones were introduced in 1997, right, around that time in India, the outgoing call was 20 rupees, incoming call was 30 rupees. And nobody thought you'll use the mobile phone for anything other than talking. Today, incoming call and outgoing call are free, right? You pay some 199 rupees, I think, free. And we use mobile phone for everything other than talking. Right? So see, what I'm saying is, why was mobile a success? I think that's one clue that you need to take. Mobile has been increasingly people have been trying the whole mobile community, as you say, the chip vendors, the fellows who made the phone, the assembly, the software, the Android, the iOS. They have been continuously trying to see that this becomes more and more useful to the people. Today, many of us do not even have alarms are gone. Torchlight is gone. Calculator is gone. So all simple things have come as apps. Today for music, tambura is gone. Even the electric tabla was there. No, I have this here. When I practice music, I use this. Tabla is going off to mean that the exact sound, beautifully, highly synthesized sound. So the great thing there was that there was a platform, and then people were actually allowed to create applications which can use the underlying hardware and give certain facilities. Right? So these are some things that the mobile became a revolution, and today you can't live with the whole office runs here. I actually cleared 2 files sitting here in this meeting, which was an emergency. Okay. So just extending this concept, the way Hyperloop we should go, nobody will trust you unless you show something working on ground. And that's where, thanks to India, Hyperloop is relevant to India because we have 1.4 billion population, say 120 years old, and probably it may touch 1.6 or 1.7 or whatever. Now, in a country where we have more population and that leads to traffic congestion, but there is a need for mobility, there's a need for transporting goods. I think that's where the whole thing comes in. One of my colleagues went to Germany and his son had a small problem in the eye. So he went to a doctor there. The doctor said there's some 3,000 euros you need to spend on this. How many surgeries you have done? He said some 8 surgeries. Next week anyway, I was coming here. He came back, went to Chanakyaa, went and met the doctors. He said same 30,000. How many surgeries? 2,000, 3,000. So, right? So this is the scale in which our country works. This is the scale in which our country also demands service. So that will be the reason for your success, but the pathway to your success essentially means you create a platform that 422-meter track that we are putting at Discovery Campus will lay the foundation for India's Hyperloop future. That foundation basically will be a demonstration where we can at least transport cargo up to cargo in a long pipe and prove certain levitation, all those things that we are claiming on paper today with some models at TRL 6. You can show a TRL 9, TRL 10 demonstration there. I think once that is done, I see this is how I feel from our port to Coimbatore. That transportation can happen. One example. So port to airport, airport to port, harbour. This is one first level big Hyperloop investment that will happen. Because now people will also go with the amount of traffic, logistic increase there. The ports are now going to be evaluated on the approximate time or exact time needed for actually transporting the good in and out. With an Hyperloop, you will not have this. Go to the port in the morning, just go for a walk there, you will see some lorries sitting in a queue just to get entered into this. So all these things will stop. I think that will be very, very important. When 15 years before somebody from Taiwan came and talked to us for setting up a fab in the only thing he wanted in return was that I make the chip, sir, within some duration. You tell me the duration, say 1.5 hours or 2 hours, but 2 hours, it must be on the FedEx plane. It must be on the Blue Dart plane. I can't now go stand, no, you don't say green channel, blue channel, red channel. It has to be on the plane. Otherwise, I'm gone. Right? So, logistics will become very important. And as our industry grows, this shipment, correct shipment, accurate time precision, all these things will come there. And that will also be a moral boosting stuff. So, we will see Hyperloop from, say, harbour to airports, etc., from industrial hubs to airports, and from airport to cities. So these are all some of the places where we will see a very good thing. Interestingly, IIT Madras, Premvatsa is the owner of Bangalore Airport, and already we started some discussion on between Bangalore City and Bangalore Airport, can I have airport? But why it has not progressed? Because this test track should be ready. The moment you conduct this Hyperloop competition and become successful, certainly the first order for the Hyperloop company will come from Vatsa. I'm very confident of this. And that's where we start.
First of all, the topic of today's discussion was how Hyperloop will disrupt India's economy. So I think you've given a very convincing idea of how Hyperloop can be used in a real life idea. And you've also, helped us crack a business deal if we make a test track a very successful thing. And sir, one more thing I wanted to ask is as Hyperloop is like a very Hyperloop is a technology which will require very big investment. And the cost for this investment can also shoot up after the project starts, as Annamalai sir also said. So especially in the initial phases when we're starting to make our first Hyperloop corridors, as we have thought from Chennai to Bangalore. So sir, what I wanted to know is with several other problems also plaguing the nation, with major problems such as education, etc. and whatnot, I wanted to know how should such large-scale infrastructure projects be implemented, and what will you say for the naysayers of Hyperloop?
I think this best is when India was not even thinking about computers, he came with not just Shiva PC, Shiva XT, Shiva AT. I worked on 1985, 86, the first computer I touched was Shiva Srinivasa's computer. I think that's where. So I think the best person to answer this question is Shiva Shankar.
Okay. Let me explain to you why people buy drill bits. They have a requirement for hole. If you don't have a requirement for hole, will you buy a drill bit? First, what you should do is, you innovate. You have started worrying about things which doesn't concern you. Innovate, replicate, integrate. Keep your integration. Your simple question should be, how can I make money today, sir? I have not completed technology. Set up this as a research project and sell this to 20 foreign universities. Ask them to pay money. Take that money. Director told you one thing, subtly. Please prove with your 443. Okay. See, when I started ESL, I was the first guy who said, old Tamil Nadu local car. And then I said, for receiving call, you don't need pay. Third thing I said, after night 10 o'clock, it's a perishable inventory. Today, whatever electricity we don't use, perish. Whatever hotel rooms we have not used, perished. Whatever time you have not used, perished. Okay? So we had a perishable inventory of time. So I said, night 10 o'clock to morning 6 o'clock, don't pay anything. That was the first 2 years, the largest amount of love marriages happened in Tamil Nadu. You are worried about India's problem. We have a CEO, Prime Minister, who he will find we are going to make a 5 trillion economy. Only 2% of the people are paying income tax. For that itself, India is so rich. You imagine what happens, 60% of the people pay income tax. You are worried about things what you don't need to worry. There is a word in English, nowhere. Now, remove the W from where and make it now here. You are now here. So continue from here. And then you make yourself attractive. Investors will come. Don't go and beg here. We are not here for begging. We are here for attracting. All of them for your dating also. Okay? You have to attract, demonstrate your ability that you have a future financial resources. The whole country will be with you. People like the word profit. Nobody likes loss. Okay? So demonstrate that. I will tell you a small application. Don't go to airport. In the hospitals, if you have 1,000-room hospital, the patient case sheet has to be transported. The drug has to be transported. The IV injection has to be transported. Come out with a small loop. Where from one room to another room it will go fast. See, think of the technology like this. When Marconi or whoever has invested telephone, they removed the distance from you. You don't need to be in front of me. That is what he did. Whether you called from America or called them in the Leela Hotel lobby to me. What the phone did, it removed the distance. What the mobile did, you can be going in car, I can be traveling in my private plane, we both can talk. It gave a mobility. Okay, your Hyperloop per kilo cost comes down very cheap. Time is money. So the demand will come. You are worried about things other than technology. You focus. You need focus. Only one word. Sleep with the focus. Wake up in the morning. Don't think anything other than Hyperloop. Sleep with Hyperloop. Your dream should be Hyperloop. Okay? Then you will live for Hyperloop and win in Hyperloop. Okay? You are asking questions to your director who is responsible morning to evening to run IIT. That business.
We usually sleep with Hyperloop, sir. We usually work in our offices for like 4 a.m. in the morning. We actually sleep with our.
Congratulations. Your hard work will be. Yesterday I went to a college. I told success is defined as skill plus luck. Great success is 30% more skill which you can hire. Okay, and tons of luck. Okay, so create tons of luck. Okay, and make sure you achieve your objective. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You've given us more ideas as to how Hyperloop technology can also be implemented in the healthcare industry. Thank you very much for that, sir. And I have one more pessimistic kind of question, sir. So now, Indians in general, the public views foreign implemented technologies to be more sophisticated and more better than the indigenous type of technologies. And with no proof of concept of Hyperloop in India and even around the world, how do you think we can tackle this challenge? And also, can you provide some sort of structured plan as in phases as to how we can implement Hyperloop step by step?
See, you are asking questions. Give me experience how I will parent my child. First thing you get married. The child will come automatically. Okay. Now, first thing what you should do is stay afloat. Keep on talking about Hyperloop. When someday Hyperloop happens, they should not forget it. Okay? Keep working till it doesn't matter whether Koreans make it successful or German make it successful. Okay? You gave me Bhagavad Gita, In Bhagavad Gita, when these guys are fighting, the Swamis on the side, they all said, Jayamutavitu. But they never mentioned who has to be. So likewise, we should chant, Hyperloop, let it win. We really don't care whether you win or Germany wins or Delhi IITians wins or Calcutta wins. Winning is required. Once a winning is required, winning is done, proof of concept is proven. Because you are there, you have a early mover advantage. You understand? And because you have a early mover advantage, people will consider you and you will be able to win. Let us cross the bridge when it comes. Right now, worry about what your director has said. Show me the proof in 443. கையில மாவு வாயில தோசை. அது கொடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா மீதி எல்லாம் worry. Okay? Yes. Thank you. You have any other questions?
So we all have got a very detailed answers and very insights from all our 3 guests. So I just want to give a glimpse about the Global Hyperloop competition, the GHC. As all the guests, Annamalai sir, Kodi sir, and Shiva Shankar sir has guided us that we needed a strong collaboration between industry, academia, and the government to make this Hyperloop technology a reality. And we also want to make a community out of it. So this is what GHC aims for, to make a very inclusive community for the Hyperloop technologies. And for this, we are conducting a global Hyperloop competition in first quarter of 2025. And we are also doing this in the world's largest student-run vacuum tube, which is 422, which is at the 3U campus, as Kamakti sir said. And we just want to show you a small video and to our guests that we have made for the competition 2025. Can we have the video? Entire world for the GHC. So.
There is nothing that will be more thrilling and exciting than exploring into a very, very new technology and field. Hyperloop is such technology which the world is looking forward to, that will address a day-to-day problem of people, specifically both in logistics and also transportation. And this is a wonderful opportunity that if you have any ideas that you would like to experiment, you think will succeed, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to showcase at an international level. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you to participate in this competition and demonstrate your ideas. Thank you.
It should be the slogan. Welcome to India. Your visit to India itself will make you successful. Thank you.
I think when you do this kind of a pioneering idea, borders don't matter. As young minds, the whole world is yours. You belong to a single human community. And we should not be very parochial in approach. That is why in 2025, we have decided to call the whole world to IIT Madras to showcase their skills. Let the whole world come here, see the best of IIT Madras. Let IIT Madras see the best of the world. So that humanity as a whole wins. Thank you.
I think we can play the video now.
Namaste from India. I am Kamakoti, Director, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. The competition will be conducted in world's longest student-maintained test track of 422 meters.
We are able to actually develop a full-fledged vacuum tube track for Hyperloop that allows students to come in and test their entire stack of Hyperloop technologies. This will actually spawn a significant amount of technology development from across the globe that will lead to the standardization of all these technologies.
of the most unique things of this competition is from inception to completion, everything is managed by students. Even the track and the tube have also been designed by the students.
We invite students from all over the world to come over here and make use of the facilities that we have and make Hyperloop a huge success in the world.
Looking forward to meeting you all in Parivar 2025.
I trusted you. I applied to so many.
Yes, sir. So I hope today's podcast has inspired the youth of India and even abroad. And I hope there are a lot of more Hyperloop teams which are created at the other institutes of India. And now I would like to open the floor for discussion, and anyone in the audience can ask a question if they want to one of our chief guests.
Thanks for arranging such an esteemed panel. So thanks for that, and thanks for giving me the opportunity. So I kind of have a question to analyze. So, sir, we live in an age of a perception. I'm a student. I have to, in a perception, I have to be good at things. We build startups. Our value proposition to a VC has to have a success as a metric of perception. Only then they'll give us the money. Now, you as an individual is in a contested politics, a performing politics, maybe not be coming from a family where your forefathers have been in the politics. Now, when you go and take, say, maybe sabbatical and at a time and like maybe your party has not performed really well in 2024 election, right? Now, how do you challenge those perceptions that it can be a holiday? You are taking a holiday. Like prior to 2024, leader of opposition, Mr. Gandhi, used to be a non-serious politician. There can be similar amount of things can be said when you take those kind of holidays. How do you challenge those perceptions, and how do you, as a politician, come around from those perceptions? Thank you.
Good to see the IIT Madras students following what is happening outside, reading the papers and what people speak. So we need to understand, from my point of view as a person, when you start doing things very young, you are 38, 39, your learning and growth should never be stopped. Normally politics is full time and it consumes so much of your time and energy from morning till evening. You are engaged in some form or the other. But many a times you got to keep challenging yourself, and you go to the best places in the world, challenge yourself, study, understand how the world is getting shaped up, perceptions, politics, which ideology is taking root, why Europe is behaving in a certain way, why world politics is going in a certain way, so why youngsters are thinking like this, why in many places you are seeing the notion of challenging the established order, be it in Bangladesh, be it in different parts of the world, and you look at the way the elections are happening in South America, it is all going towards certain rightist tendencies. Now, it is important that you understand why it is happening, and that is my way of looking at politics. It is okay, it is not a single person dominant party. There are multiple people in the party, and people keep running the party. So that is why, in a very considered view, I am going on a 3-month study break to Oxford, starting 28. So 12 weeks I will be spending in Oxford University. I will be doing a course there and back a fellowship. And you keep doing it. It is not that last year I did an Aspen fellowship. I was in US for some time. And that is my way of always staying connected. So some politicians might take a holiday. For me, it is always a study break. And you got to work there, submit a thesis and answerable to the professors. And you have to do it. And after a point of time, I stopped caring about what people talk about you. That is very important. Like it's not that. And you got to have a goal, and you should be very clear where you want to go. And you got to be very clear where your organization has to go. And when you start reacting to every single person who has got an opinion about it, everybody can have an opinion. That is why I said, when somebody asked Henry Ford, would you have invented cars if you go by people opinion? People would have said, I want faster horses, not cars. Steve Jobs, for example, never went for a marketing research to invent iPhones. He just felt there is a need, there is an iPhone, people started buying. That's how your life should be many a time. But of course, you live in a democratic society. But for me, keep challenging, keep improving, keep doing it. And just go outside, because you cannot live in a shell also. Because in politics, what happens? You live in a shell where the world is very different. Why I come to IIT? Just to get inspired. It's not that I came here to give a speech. Who am I in front of Shivshankaran sir? Who am I in front of Kamakoti? So I feel energized whenever I see kids like you and something new happens. I try and learn what is happening. So this is coming outside my traditional mold. You sit inside your office, 10 people will come and say, Annamalai is great, this person is great, that person is great. That whole day will go. Now I am challenging myself to be a student. Go there, stay in a dormitory, no help, nothing. Start doing projects, do classes on time, sit there for 3 months, 12 weeks and come out. So this is challenge, out of your comfort zone. That's how I see it. And at the end of the day, I don't get into too much into answering, convincing people, look, I have to do this. Who am I to convince people? Everybody has got a personal life and everybody has got a professional life. And if you start convincing, how many people I'll start convincing? Thank you, brother. Thank you.